Hey everybody, it's Eric with Chaotic Goods. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at DuelSpec Pro sleeves. Now, these sleeves were sent to me by the DuelSpec team to review and just give my initial thoughts. And honestly, I've been putting it off for a while now, and I do sincerely apologize to DuelSpec and the team for, getting sent these sleeves and not putting out my review. But that said, I am putting out the review. I've been able to use these sleeves, and I gotta say, I have one thing I don't like about them, and that's it. Now, before we dive into the one thing I don't like about them and all the things I do like about them, I know there's been a lot of drama lately within the TCG realm on sleeves and potential. All of them are the same based on some Alibaba drop shipper. I don't care about any of that. I'm just going to give you my honest opinion about the sleeves that I'm using. These very well could be the same sleeves, but you know what? I've tested a lot of sleeves, dual specs, Dragon Shields, Katanas, Endgame, FCBC, Top Cut Gear. I've tested all of them. Even if all these companies are just drop shipping from Alibaba, the company themselves and what they stand for is more important to me than them just drop shipping products from Alibaba. Now, I stand behind DuelSpec and the team for everything they do. I've talked with them and they're great guys. And yes, I'm an affiliate with them, but that's because I truly believe that their sleeves are the best on the market. They cover a wide range of pretty much every sleeve you want, except inner sleeves, which hopefully soon to come, knock on wood. But I think they're the best you can get. And for the value and the quality of sleeve you're getting, I don't care about any of that stuff. Maybe they are drop shipping from Alibaba. You know what? I don't care. Because Will and Dom, the team behind DuelSpec, they're great guys. They're great folks. They do a lot within the community of just the TCG realm. And that's what's more important to me. So leaving that bias behind, I am still going to talk about what I like and what I do not like about the DuelSpec Pro sleeves. And like always, I'm just going to give you the pros and cons and whether or not I think you should get them, and ultimately leave that decision up to you. All right, with all that said, let's just jump right in and talk about DuelSpec Pros. Okay, so DuelSpec Pro sleeves. I'm going to give you my initial thoughts and kind of just the rundown on what happened when I got these. Now, first impressions out of the box, extremely slippery sleeves. I got the pack out and I kind of just set them down and the sleeves kind of slid all over the place. I'm usually a guy to hate on slippery sleeves. I don't like them. They're a pain in the butt. Especially, when you're trying to sleeve up a new deck and your cards are going everywhere and then you start shuffling and then it's just a mess. I don't like that, but they were pretty easy to break in, a couple, maybe like 10 or so shuffles, and that slipperiness was gone, which is good. One of the other things that popped out to me about these sleeves is the size. These are smaller than any of their other sleeves, and I would probably say similar to Katana sizing, which I love. I'm not going to rat on Dragon Shield. If you've seen my videos, you know how I feel. I love small sleeves. I love a true to fit sleeve. That way it's not like this weird bulkiness, this extra height or width on my card. It just feels good. I don't know how to explain it. If you know what I'm talking about, you understand. Now, they also have just a crazy good shuffle. I've had these for a while, ever since set 2 of the Hololive TCG dropped. I've sleeved up these decks in these and I've used them to play and just have a blast. And they're good. They've held up. We don't have any sort of like nicks or tears. I haven't had to swap any of the sleeves out on either of these colors. And that's awesome. And the shuffle feel has remained just as smooth, which is great. And the last thing I noticed is the smooth back texture. It was one of the things that first drew me to DuelSpec sleeves when I first found them, and I'll link to that review video up above, but it's the same smooth back texture, which leads me to the DuelSpec Pros themselves. These sleeves are replacing the original DuelSpec sleeves. So they have that same smooth back texture that the original sleeves did, but they did some upgrades to the sleeves themselves. And those upgrades are in the size, the thickness, and the opacity. If you notice here, these have a blackout core, is what they call it. That is just simply a black back to them. So you can't see the back of the card through the sleeve, which is very important in tournament realms. You know, not necessarily casual play, but in tournament realms, that's extremely important to not be able to see the back of the card. So that is one of the big upgrades as well. But they also are the same smooth back that these standard sleeves have. So basically they took their standard sleeve, modified it, upgraded it, got rid of it, and replaced it with these. Now, in doing so, they did make one change that I'm not too much of a fan of, and that's just due to the size of the sleeves, is they don't recommend these for double sleeving. And I'll show you later on in the video why that's the case, and I understand it. But because the size of these sleeves are basically true to fit of a card, they don't really have room for a double sleeve, which is a bummer. You can, and again, I'll show you, but I wouldn't recommend it, and they don't recommend it. Overall, an upgrade, I would say, from their standard sleeves to the Pro sleeves with, you know, some minor tweaks that I'm gonna maybe consider a con, but it's just the nature of the upgrade. Now, what do the DuelSpec Pros cost? You're paying $11.99 for a box of 100 sleeves at standard size, and you're paying $10.99 for a box of 100 at the Japanese size. One of the things I love about DuelSpecs is, even though I don't play Japanese size TCGs, they offer Japanese size TCG sleeves, which a lot of these other companies don't do that. So they're catering to that market as well, which is really great. Now, as always, we gotta talk about shipping. Shipping is free over $99. So you spend $100, you get free shipping. Pretty good deal. You buy about 8 boxes of sleeves, you get free shipping. So that's a pretty good deal, in my opinion. If you need 8 boxes of sleeves, that's probably gonna last you a good while. Maybe not so much for your tournament player, and you're swapping out your sleeves from going to day 2 to day 1 to day 2, and then into the next tournament. So you probably go through sleeves a lot. But as someone who's more of a casual player like myself, I don't swap out sleeves a lot. So a lot of my decks are just sitting in the same sleeves that I put them in originally, and they stay in those until I feel like changing them, or they really see wear and tear, which doesn't happen too often. Now, the shipping itself is about $7 to $10, and they do ship from, I believe, their warehouse in Florida. If you're located in the East Coast, you're probably going to receive your sleeves a lot sooner than someone on the West Coast, or someone located in central United States. It's going to take a little bit longer, but I was able to find about $7 to $10, which isn't too bad. It's about the price of a pack of sleeves in shipping. So if you don't need 8 boxes of sleeves, you only need a couple, you're basically buying another box worth of sleeves in shipping costs. Let's talk about the size of these, because the size is one of my favorite things about these sleeves, because they're that true to fit card size. Now these run, this is a standard sizing, by the way, because I'm using standard size TCGs. These run 65.5 millimeters by 91.5 millimeters. And they are a 0.24 millimeter thickness, which is pretty thick for a sleeve of this size. But honestly, I don't mind the thickness too much. It doesn't really get in the way. Now with the smaller size, DuelSpecs themselves, they don't recommend that you double sleeve these cards or double sleeve using these. And I can understand why. And I'm going to show you here in a moment on the reason they recommend that, because it's a really snug fit. So I just have a perfect fit Dragon Shield Smoke sleeve that I'm just going to quickly sleeve a card in, and I'm just going to show you a comparison of a non-sleeve, double sleeve versus a sleeve card. So we're going to cut to that real quick. Okay, so I have the sleeve here, and we're just going to sleeve the card into the DuelSpec Pro. Now, again, it's kind of a snug fit because this is a true to fit. So that is all the way into the sleeve, and I'm going to kind of try and get all the air out of there. So this is a double sleeved DuelSpec Pro, but you can see the problem right here on the camera. Look at how much this is popping open because of, potential air pocket, or because the sleeve itself is doubled. And I'm just going to grab one quick comparison here, non-double sleeve, and we can kind of show you what it looks like. So you can see that the card itself, the sleeve itself, is trying to split open a little bit more than the actual single sleeved card. And we'll hold them both by the middle here. That way I can show you that I'm not like purposely trying to make it a bigger gap at the top. It's just the double sleeved card makes that top wider. It's like trying to open, and it's probably just because it's a very snug fit. And now I'm not saying don't double sleeve. If you really wanted to, you probably could. I mean, it does fit. I am using a Dragon Shield Perfect Fit on this, and it fits into the sleeve. It's very snug, and I don't necessarily like what it does at the very tip of the sleeve, where it's like trying to force itself open. I'm gonna leave that up to you. I'm gonna follow DuelSpec's recommendation, and I'm not gonna double sleeve these cards or any cards when using DuelSpec Pros. Hey everybody, this is Future Eric butting in here. In the process of editing the video, I forgot to do the sleeve comparison. I did mention sizes, but I actually forgot to compare the sleeves like I have been doing in the past. Here we have our DuelSpec Pro sleeve, and this is a Dragon Shield, and this is a Katana sleeve. So we're just gonna do our stack comparison. We're gonna put the cards on top of each other, and you can see corner to corner how much space is actually difference between the Dragon Shield and the Katana sleeve, or sorry, the Dragon Shield and the DuelSpec Pro sleeve. And I'll just flip it around so you can see the size difference. So that's just the Dragon Shield. You can see here, comparing the Katana sleeve to the DuelSpec Pro, that these are actually wider. So if you're wanting a more true to fit sleeve for your cards, I think you will not be disappointed by DuelSpec Pros at all. Honestly, I haven't used Katanas in a while, mostly just due to the price, even though I love their size, but I'm probably just gonna switch over to DuelSpec Pros for a lot of my cards, even though I don't like the fact that you really shouldn't be double sleeving cards with these. All right, Future Eric signing out. Blackout core, they are entirely opaque. Now, unfortunately, the only colors I received are a pink, this green, and a silver. They do have a white color, so I wish I would have received those. I probably could have tested the blackout core because white's gonna stand out more. But with these colors in my studio light here, and holding it up to the camera, you can't see HoloLive anything on the back of these. So they are entirely opaque. You don't have to worry about in the tournament realm, people seeing the back of your cards, getting a judge called on you, and then you getting a game loss or having to re-sleeve your cards because they can see what TCG you're playing. So that's a good thing. Now I am just gonna do a quick rip stretch test here with the sleeve. We'll set that aside, and we'll just test it out, see what we got. I'm potentially hoping, because it's a blackout core, like a dual layer sleeve, that it is a little bit more resilient to the stretch test, but we'll see. All right, yeah, so honestly, that's kind of about what I expected. Just for quick comparison, I have a DuelSpec XD sleeve here. Again, I've linked to that review below. So it's gonna do the same thing. The sleeve itself is going to tear at the seams from the pressure rather than having any sort of stretch before ripping along the seam. So let's just show you a quick example of this guy. So finger, and we will stretch. And again, instead of the warping here at the top, it just splits down the seam. Some people may hate that. Some people don't care. Personally, I don't think it's a big deal. I think oversleeves are a lot more prone to tearing than actual standard sleeves. Unless you're shuffling like an absolute monster, this shouldn't really ever be an issue to you. Gotta do the test, gotta make sure that we're doing everything we're supposed to. All right, so with everything out of the way, I guess the only thing left to talk about is kind of the pros and cons about DuelSpec Pros. The first pro just has to be the size of these sleeves. I'm a really big fan of these sleeves. And if you're a big fan of katanas, I think you're gonna love DuelSpec Pro sleeves because I love katanas, but I don't want to pay $16, $17 for a box of sleeves. So this is a really good alternative. I can pay, you know, 12 bucks for a box of sleeves, save myself $5, potentially throw that towards another box of sleeves, and I'm good to go. So the size of these are just absolutely perfect. I love them. The second pro is going to be the hand feel, and that kind of goes along with just pro number one. The hand feel of having smaller true to fit size sleeves feels good. It feels good in the hand. It feels good when you shuffle. And I don't have big bulky fingers, right? I would say I have pretty slender hands for a dude, and these shuffle just fine. I don't have any problems. They feel great. So if maybe, you know, maybe it's just a me thing, but my wife also likes these, and she's a petite woman, so the smaller size sleeve is just something that we naturally gravitate towards because the hand feel is just so much better. And that's also the texture, smooth texture on the back. It's just, it says a lot about the sleeve. And the third pro, I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, the company. Dom, Will, they're good guys. They're great dudes. They are TCG product focused. They are ensuring that they are putting out the best quality sleeves that they can. And I think that they're doing that. And between, you know, the standards that these are replacing, the XD sleeves, the Pro sleeves, the hollow sleeves that I'll be reviewing later this month, and their over sleeves, I think they're knocking it out of the park. They truly are just good dudes. If you've ever interacted them, you know, at your locals or, you know, online on social media, they're good guys. And that's just a pro, in my opinion. It's not so much about the sleeve, it's about the company. And the company is really what I love about DuelSpecs, along with everything else that they're doing. Now, with pros, there are some cons. And I did mention it at the beginning of the video that there is a con to these sleeves, and that's no double sleeving. Yes, you can potentially double sleeve, as you saw in this video, but they don't recommend it, and I honestly wouldn't recommend it either. Because the size of these sleeves are so small, you're really stressing the sleeve itself when you're double sleeving them. And the reason that's a con for me is because as a TCG player, even if my deck only costs like 20, 50 bucks, whatever it may be, I always just double sleeve my cards. It's just something I've always done, something I was told to do when I was little, and it's just something I always do. So not double sleeving these feels a little weird. But after double sleeving some of the cards and putting them in here, I understand why they don't recommend it. But it is a con. Some people just love double sleeving their cards. I am one of those people, but I'm willing to make a sacrifice for the DuelSpec Pro sleeves. I will sacrifice not double sleeving my cards to use these sleeves and call it good. But that's just my opinion. Now, if you watch this whole video, I really do appreciate you sticking around. And I do want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this review video. And ultimately, I want you to decide. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you think the DuelSpec Pros are worth it? Is there a better sleeve out there? Potentially. I think these are damn near close to the perfect sleeve outside of just not being able to double sleeve them. But that's just my opinion. Now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great evening.